I've been being asked by several individuals, how come I cannot join the military and still be a Christian? What's wrong with this? What's wrong with patriotism and wanting to serve my country? Well, in the Acts of the Military Martyrs, a compilation of several individuals who were convicted with those same questions: serve Caesar or to serve Christ? There was a number of accounts of men who were in the military service, who were recruits or veterans, who had to face this same question, whether to serve Rome or to serve for the kingdom of heaven. I thought I would take the liberty of reading an excerpt from a book that covers this topic quite in depth, called Caesar and the Lamb by George Calantis. Forgive me, the last name is a bit hard to pronounce. I will start with the Martyrdom of Saint Marinus. In the 7th book of the ecclesiastical history, Eusebius tells the story of Marinus, a soldier from the Legio ex Fretensis, who was stationed in Caesarea in Palestine during the time of this account. From the account, we can gather that Marinus had had a long career in the army and had risen to the position of optio ad spem ordinius, a rank just before the promotion to centurion. Each legion had 59 to 60 centurions. On the eve of his promotion, a rival denounced Marinus for being a Christian who would not offer sacrifice to the emperors. Given 3 hours to recant his faith and to reconsider his fate, Marinus went for a walk. The bishop of Caesarea, Theotechnos, met him and brought him to the church, where he revealed to him the true nature of his dilemma. Marinus was executed that same day. What remains unsaid in his account is how Marinus would have acted as a centurion if his rival had brought forth the charge. Would he offer a requisite of sacrifice? And why did it take the sharp eye, or at least the jealousy, of a pagan to bring Marinus to the crisis of this conscience? The account does not address any of these questions, but what it does bear witness to is that the confronted with the antithesis between the Christians said what they believed and what they practiced, when the state did not turn a co-opting blind eye to Christians among its ranks, the consequences for the choices Christians were forced to make were grave. Now to go into a little bit more detail of this account. During the time of Pope Existus and the other bishops, the churches everywhere enjoyed peace. Yet at Caesarea in Palestine, a man named Marinus, who had been honored with many posts in the army and was known for his wealth and his good family, was beheaded for the witness of Christ. It came about in the following way. Among the Romans, the vine branch is a mark of honor, and those who obtain it, they believe, became centurions. An army post fell vacant, and according to the order of promotion, it was Marinus who was entitled to fill it. But when he was at the point of receiving the office, another man came up to the magistrate and attached Marinus, saying that as a Christian, Marinus would not sacrifice to the emperors, and should therefore not be allowed to share in honors that belonged to Romans according to the ancient laws, but that instead the post should fall to himself. It is said that the magistrate, whose name was Achaeus, was moved by this, and he first asked Marinus what views he held, and then, when he saw the persistently confessed that he was a Christian, he granted him a stay of 3 hours in which to reconsider. No sooner had Marinus left the court than Theotechnos, the bishop of Caesarea, approached and drew him aside in conversation. Taking him by the hand, he led him to the church. Once inside, he placed Marinus in front of the altar, and drawing aside Marinus's cloak, pointed towards his sword, which was attached to his side. At the same time, he brought a copy of the divine Gospels, and he set it before Marinus, asking him to choose which he preferred. Without hesitation, Marinus put out his right hand and took the divine writings. So then, said Theotechnos, hold fast, and hold fast to God. Given strength by him, you may obtain what you have chosen. Now go in peace. No sooner had Marinus returned than a herald cried out to summon him before the tribunal, for the allotted time was now over. Marinus presented himself before the judge and showed even greater loyalty to the faith. And immediately, just as soon as he was led off to be executed, he had found his fulfillment, or his perfection. Now, I think that's something that we don't really cover too much from the pulpits now, do we? Talking about how people were presented with a conflict of interest to serve Caesar or to serve Christ. And oftentimes, when you want to serve Christ, it means you have to deny the things of this world, even if that means a promotion. Marinus was given the choice between the sword or choosing the gospel. And I think that should be the takeaway from all of this. Are you going to live by the sword, as Peter, who was admonished by Christ, saying that that was not the way? Or are you going to live by the word, which grants us life? I'm Brandon from the Manna Daily Podcast, and I will catch you on the next one.